Okay, hey everyone. I'm gonna wait like 1 minute and get started just in case someone wants to jump on. So do I can share this? Okay. All right. So the game is about to start for Mystics and Dream. I can go over that real quick since they're about to start. I'm still feeling confident in Mystics just because of the 187. With Washington, D.C. equating 187, today being the 187th day of the year. And of course, George Washington, 187. And also, what I just noticed not long ago was Mystics all-time away. They're 148 and 259. And Skull and Bones equates to 149. So they can pick up that 149 win. And, just in Washington, Mystics equating to 76. The date is 7/6. Even Skull and Bones equals 76. And they can become 7-6 away. I mean, I feel like that's a really big 7/6 ritual. But, and then looking at the Dream, it is interesting how they can become 11-11, just thinking about 9/11 and all the 11s to deal with that. But we know Washington plays 49 pretty often, just like how Seattle and Indiana Fever had their 49th matchup yesterday, and they ended up winning that match. And then right here too, I think is where it's at, is where Skull and Bones, what we keep talking about, Skull and Bones equals 202. And DC's area code is 202, and today is the Pope's 202nd day of his age. So to me, I really don't see much for Atlanta, although I would like to see them win, just because of my thoughts about them this season. But this game, just how it's aligned with George Bush being his 76th birthday, and of course he was in Washington, D.C. I think that's Washington's basically representing Bush tonight, in my opinion. So I'm sticking with the Mystics to win. Let me check in and see if anyone. Oh yeah, right. And Bush turned 76, and just knowing that what happened today with the Georgia Guidestones. Georgia's area code is also 706, so for another 76. But I just don't think that's, just seeing what happened in Georgia today, I don't think that is a good sign for Atlanta tonight. Onto it. But talking about Liberty and Aces, and I just found a gem a while ago, but I'll just go ahead and present everything that we already have. This is their first matchup of the season. And I don't know if you could understand this or if you guys looked it up yourselves, but so they're playing tonight for the first time. Then after tonight's over, Aces their next two games are versus Liberty. So Aces play Liberty 3 games back to back, whereas Liberty, their next game is versus Phoenix Mercury, and then after that game is against Aces. And those two following games of where these two teams are going to play are going to be at New York. So this is the only game in Las Vegas out of the 3 games. So All right. So I'm just going to go through everything. Aces lead all time versus Liberty 28-26. And obviously that just fits well with aces equaling 28-26. Has nothing really to do with tonight. I just wanted to show just how synced that was. And then we know Wednesday is named for the planet Mercury. And Mercury equals 103, 103, the 27th prime number. Whereas Liberty can get their 27th win with the Mercury alignment. And then today is the 55th matchup all time between Aces and Liberty, and we have 55 date numerology. And since we're talking about that 55, even Liberty can become 5-5 away tonight with a win. Then just seeing Liberty all time away, they're 169-249. One thing I did find kind of interesting to note is today's date from 9/11, exactly 9/11/2001. It's 249 months plus 25 days. So I mean, it would probably be more impactful if it were right on the nose, but I mean, look how close that is. And so there's that for, Liberty could stay in that 249, and then just thinking about 9/11 and how big of a sacrifice it was that day, and sacrifice equals 170 to where they can get their 170th win all time away. And then we have Aces all time at home, and they're 227-193, which nothing really stood out with me. I don't know of any like 194s or 228s that surround this game, but let's see. I'll go ahead and just name the stat that I found just a while ago. Is looking at Las Vegas Aces. Their all-time franchise record is 383-456. Hopefully you guys can see that well. So 383-456. And I think this is pretty big in my opinion. This is what's kind of the thing I need to see in order for me to place down a bet on Liberty. It is because 383 is the 76 prime number, and big 7-6 date, Skull and Bones 76. George W. Bush just turned 76. So just seeing that Aces can stay on 383 wins. I mean, I'm not saying go all in and hard on the Liberty, but to me, I mean, what was it yesterday that played whenever I was going against it? Who was it? Was it the Dallas Wings? What were we looking at? It was the 71st matchup, and they could get their 353rd all-time, was it away win or all-time win, and it hit. I mean, just that prime number relationship with their record. So to me, what do you guys think about that? I'll check in. Satan 55 with Skull and Bones, yeah. What is your guys' thoughts on that? The 383 with the Aces, which is the 76 prime number. They can stay on 383 wins on 7/6. I mean, I think that's worth a bet for sure. See, currently, it really hasn't changed much all day. I think earlier today they were plus 425 on Boveda, and then they've been sitting at plus 450 for quite a while. Let's see. All right, well, I'll go ahead and go through everything else real quick. Okay, so Liberty, they're currently 8-12, and they didn't get that 9/11 whenever they could have in their previous game. So 8-12. What I had here is 23 as the 9th prime number, whereas Las Vegas equals 23. This game is in Las Vegas, 23 the ninth prime. They can get that ninth win. And then just thinking about 9/11 in New York City equates to 129, like how it's the reverse where they could get to 9 and 12. We talked about the 55, the 55th matchup, and they can become 5 and 5A. Whereas if you're looking ahead, and this can be helpful and it can burn you, and I've had my fair share of both. I feel like if they fell to 4 and 6 tonight, their next game is at Phoenix, and Phoenix equates to 46. But with aces, obviously why we're even focusing on 9/11 too is we knew it was going to be George W. Bush's birthday today, and how aces come 15 and 6. 911 is the 156 prime number. Whereas if they fall to 15 and 7, that's like 157, the 37th prime number, and Liberty equals 37. And I mean, Liberty is hit with that 37, like the very beginning of the season. That seemed pretty hot with whenever teams were in their 10th game versus the Liberty. Or okay, let's see. And then aces could get to 17 and 6. That's the one thing that kind of worries me. But again, that's looking ahead. That's not looking like by day. Aces could get to that 176, like how New York Liberty equals 176. And, that's possible because aces play Liberty in their next game. If they got to 166 tonight, 16 and 6, I just threw in because, twin powers equals 166. And then aces at home right now, they're 8-3, which isn't it aces, Las Vegas aces, I think, or is it? They have an 83 connection. And yeah, I just don't know. Because then George Walker Bush equals 84, how they can fall to 8 and 4. Flight 93, it reminded me of that, but I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about that right now. And then their next home game will be versus Atlanta, Georgia, which equates to 85. If they were to lose their next two home games, right? But yeah, it's hard to tell because it's so like back and forth with the aces record. Looking at their coaches, Liberty coach Sandy Branadello, she's 172 and 170. Or sorry, she's 172 and 140. If she got to 173, that's the 40th prime number, and Mercury equates to 40. Liberty is a lock in your. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm overthinking it just because I don't want people to. But I mean, it's never bad to bet on an underdog, especially when they're at plus 450. I honestly, to me, just a couple of minutes before I went live, I feel like it's right here. Las Vegas Aces staying on 383 wins when that is the 76 prime number. And today is 7-6, and they'd be doing it against their perfect team too, because New York Liberty in the most pure cipher is 76, and New York Liberty has the 202, which is in the bottom of my notes with their overlap skull and bones. So yeah, that's what I'm leaning with, and I have all day. But I mean, I just needed that last stat to kind of make me think that's really going to happen. But I'm just going to leave this short and sweet. If nobody else has any comments, I'll hang on for a couple of minutes if you guys have anything else. But that's what I'm going with. And let's see. I mean, nothing stuck out with Becky Hammond other than the fact that her name gematria does equate to 187. Like today's date being the 187th day. But and then the flip side, like where the only other reason I question the Liberty because it's New York, and talking about George Bush, like New York wasn't a winning state in the time of Bush, right? Like it just seemed like why would New York of all states win on George W. Bush's birthday? That's kind of where I felt a little hesitant, but I can't pass on a possible dog winning this game tonight. But yeah, I don't see any more comments. But then tomorrow there are 3 more games, and then after that, you saw I wrote it, but Sunday will be the All-Star game, which I'll try to figure out, and I'll post when I can. If I'm not able to live stream, which I should be able to, I can probably do it Sunday morning. But I'll update my notes that I have on the All-Star game within the next few nights when I get time. And then there's no more games until Tuesday after tomorrow. Tomorrow, 3 games and no regular season games till Tuesday. But yeah, so let's just keep on. I don't know. Just hopefully tonight goes well. I mean, halftime scores, we'll be checking those for sure. Even in the Atlanta game, if I see something. But I'm still feeling Washington D.C. I just feel like the Skull and Bones ritual is all over that game. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Good luck tonight. See ya.